understand what's going on around you. You are in a state of war, and you have precious little time to save yourself. It's a slow process, which we call active measures. The first stage being demoralization. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. The next stage is destabilization. What matters is essentials: economy, foreign relations, defense systems. The next stage is crisis, with a violent change of power, structure, and economy, period of normalization. This is what will happen in the United States if you allow all these schmucks to put a big brother government in Washington, D.C., who will promise lots of things, never mind whether the promises are fulfillable or not. And it takes only from 2 to 5 years to destabilize a nation. When they will see in future what the beautiful society of equality and social justice means in practice, obviously they will revolt. The time bomb is ticking. With every second, the disaster is coming closer and closer. The danger is real.
Welcome back to the channel. This video is going to start off a bit different than my other videos. It's still an after action report, so if you want to skip to the actual action, check out the timestamps in the description. First, I'm going to hit on a rather heavy topic. We're at a historical crossroads, both domestically and abroad, and I think it's prudent to give some of the following equipment I'm about to go over some thought. If a friend or family member reaches out to you for help in a time of region or nationwide emergency, would you really ignore their request? Well, me personally, I'm not interested in doing that. I'm not going to abandon friends or family in need, so what would I bring? Will you be an organized and well-prepared asset ready for anything? Or would you be a disheveled liability? In order to be organized, you have to plan now while the situation is normal. While I hope for the best, really at this point in time anything could happen, and that in fact was the theme of this particular event, the Mystery Ops Bailout. Good times come with the bad, so with that, this is my go bag. Being a prepared citizen is really no different than buying insurance, except all of this stuff is a tangible good. It's something that you can use immediately when you need it, no filing a claim. The intent for this bag is something that I can grab quickly, that contains at least 24, maybe 36 hours worth of tools, equipment, sustainment. Think emergency response bag, but with an emphasis on personal defense or standoff equipment. Of course, all of this is entirely just for fun and competition. Any similarities this video might have with the real world is entirely just a coincidence. So in keeping with the spirit of the event, this is everything that I brought with me to this event, minus my concealed carry setup. Let's jump right into the bag itself. The bag is an LBT enhanced loadout bag. It's very durable, it's padded, it has a ton of room. This is not really a patrol bag or a ruck. It's not something you'd ever hike long distances with. Instead, this is something that you would throw into a vehicle in a hurry and then use the contents of the bag to respond appropriately to the situation on the ground. This event was made up of 3 courses, about 2 to 3 miles each, all of which had you back in your vehicle where you could re-equip, resupply, and head out to the next course. So let's dive right into the bag contents here. Right off on top is my Snugpack Ionosphere. This is a great little kind of bivy tent. It's a little more than that. It's a 2-pole tent, but it's easy to go up, easy to come down. I use this mostly as a bug shelter. Next up is the Carbine itself. This is a 16-inch BCM KD4 with the primary arms 2 to 10 on top with a Leopold Delta Point Pro, an LBT sling. This is a great carbine. Did use this all the way out to 800 yards at this event. On top as well is just a bump helmet with some high visibility flags. This is mostly for night vision. Hearing protection, and then the plate carrier itself. This plate carrier's got all of the equipment that I would need for sustainment up to maybe about 12 hours. It has medical, it's got ammo, it's got food, it's got water. On the right side of the cummerbund, I have a padded pouch here with a PVS-14 and a mount. This competition did not have a night event, but again, why would you go anywhere without night vision? And there is a radio here as well. This is a Yaesu FT65 with a vest-mounted antenna. I'm not going to dive too much into the plate carrier itself because I actually ended up not using it. By the time it came around to the carbine course, I was a little concerned about becoming a heat casualty. Next up is the actual pack itself. So this is a backpack that's got a little more sustainment than what my plate carrier could carry. It's got 3 liters of water, including water purification through the Grail push filter here. We've got snacks and food. We've got a snug pack poncho. A couple of signal items here. There's 2 smokes, 1 white, 1 green, and then there is a road flare. You know, think natural disaster. This is something that you could use to kind of communicate to rescue workers or whatnot. On the outer pocket here, we have another backup radio. And then inside of this is kind of a bit of a toiletries bag, but inside is more backup batteries. We've got AA's, AAA's. We have a rechargeable pack for a cell phone, replacement battery for the radio itself, CR123s. These are actually Silcox keys. If you don't know what Silcox keys are, you might do a little research on that one. And of course, water purification tablets. We also have an emergency blanket. This is actually high visibility, which is another signal device. And then we have a lens static compass with a whistle and a handheld flashlight. Also have a currency bag here, which is often an overlooked piece of kit. Now this includes more than just spare cash. This includes some commonly used tobacco products and nicotine products. It's not for me. I don't partake with tobacco or nicotine, but it is a good way to help strangers or friends relax, calm down. Basically, it helps you buy friends. Also a spare CCW magazine. Alright, inside of here is a toiletries bag with my actual toiletries, including, you know, RX inserts and whatnot, just comfort items. Mosquito mesh plus a boonie, which is pretty important here in Texas. Headlamp and a flashlight, more backup items. This right here is actually a Faraday case. If you don't know what a Faraday box or case is, you might look into them. Pretty important. And then even more backup batteries, including a solar powered backup battery. Another spare IFAK with a tourniquet. And then more sustainment items here. This is just freeze-dried food, which of course going to need a stove with that one. Stove is also a great way to purify water as well. A Vortex rangefinder and a bipod. I accidentally forgot the rangefinder in my bag when I headed out to the DMR course. That was fun. Got a jungle sleeping bag here. And then inside of these other pockets here, we've got a toolkit with replacement parts. We've got a starter magazine for my rifle. A real nice handsaw here, and then some just more miscellaneous items like a camp pillow, some 550 cord, and a strap. Now a couple items that are not in the bag, they're actually in the vehicle, are some physical paper maps and a drone. Drone's a great way to scout forward and see things at a bird's eye view, of course. On the outer pockets, we've got a change of clothes, including socks and a rag. And then a rather large poncho, which will fold out completely, and it kind of doubles as a tarp or rain shelter or maybe even a sunshade. So that's it for the bag itself. Let's go ahead and jump into the concealed carry items. So this is actually how I started off the course, was with concealed carry setup, Glock 17 on the hip, outside the waistband, but under a outer shirt. Had a spare magazine on my hip as well. And then also a backpack. So diving into the concealed carry pack here, this is an LBT 14 liter padded pack. It's a very nice pack. On the outer pouches, I have an IFAK. I'm not going to dive into that. And then on the inside, I have a broken down PCC along with a chest rig. The PCC is a Palmetto State Armory. It's a 10-inch barrel, 9mm, takes Glock mags. It's pretty straightforward. I don't shoot it very much, but it was pretty fun to run it at this event. Now, in the spirit of the event, I know I'm supposed to be kind of carrying, what would I actually be carrying out and around? No, I don't carry a backpack with a rifle broken down into it. But who knows what's in our future, and maybe this setup becomes a little more realistic. Alright, headed out to the first pistol stage here. You were required to have all weapons completely concealed.
Stand by.
Stage 1 course of fire was fast and close, 5 targets inside of a doorway, 2 hits each. No points for zones, just hits. Top 5 shooters on this stage were separated by less than 1 second. A quick jog in the valley to stage 2. Stage 2 course of fire was another fast and close setup, 13 targets in total. I did pre-stage my PCC and my pack here while on my runtime.
Four right. Hit. Very nice. 13, 6, 7. Go ahead and show me that clear weapon. Perfect. Drop around.
At this point in the course, you could now transition to an overt setup, so I slung my PCC and put on my chest rig. Stage 3 course of fire was 2 positions with 3 alien targets at each position, 2 hits each. These are tricky targets. There's no center mass on these targets. There is a lot of empty space to miss.
Hey, stop. One more target. Hit. One more. Hit. Hit.
Did you call hit on that?
Clear.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
You're good, sorry.
Super long leg here all the way to stage 4, the final pistol stage. Kind of took you back through the course and then up into the valley. Stage 4 course of fire involved about 100 yards worth of movement, and there were targets spread out all along. Most of them were 1 hit each.
Got it, go.
Hit.
Go. Look forward and left, right here, left.
Left. Hit.
Up the hill.
Final position here had 1 target placed at about 60, maybe 80 yards. It was pretty far out. Now you did have the option to advance on that target pretty close, but I went ahead and opted for a long shot with the PCC.
Hit.
Got it.
Time. 47.81.
47.81, you got about the top 5.
After stage 4, you retrace your steps back to the parking lot to re-equip and grab your carbine. The pistol course was a great start to this event. I really enjoyed the course of fire. At this point, the Texas summer sun was really setting in. Carbine 1 course of fire here was fairly straightforward. You had a series of targets that were fairly close but fairly small. You did have to adjust your position a bit to get a good shot off on them, and there was nothing very good or stable to brace on.
Hit. 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 Hit.
Oh, fuck.
Hit. 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 Unload, show clear. Good, clear.
A fairly long leg here to the next carbine stage. Now the next carbine stage did involve about 60 yards worth of movement, and there was a 180-degree field of fire. You had targets on your left, your right, and in the front of the shooter. Now you'll notice I'm going a bit slow here. That's because I'm fiddling with my stupid top dot. The Delta Point Pro controls are pretty terrible, and the brightness was too dim for me to actually engage these targets with proper speed.
Down and to your left. Keep going all the way to that last target. You're going to turn and look to your left. You'll see it. Last target.
Full disclosure, the carbine course was my last course for the day, so these last few shooting stages on the carbine course are actually my last stages for the entire day. And at this point, the sun had definitely started to take over. I was starting to get pretty fatigued mentally and physically. Third Carbine Stage course of fire here was fairly straightforward again. There were targets placed in the hill, it was 2 hits each. Now there was no defined set of positions. You, the shooter, had to figure out what was your best position to get off your good angle of fire.
Hit! Hit! Hit!
Going left.
Starting on the right.
Starting on the right.
Hit!
Very nice. Unload and show clear. Nice. Okay. Good.
Onward to the final Carbine Stage and my last stage of the day. The course of fire here was fairly simple again. You had to start at the bottom of this tower, advance up the ladder, and engage a handful of targets out in the field.
Right here.
Hit! Hit! 1, 2. What hit? Hit! Clear. 3992.
Now competitors did have the option to stay in the parking lot and rest and recover for a decent amount of time between courses. Personally, I had a pretty tight schedule at this shooting event, so I knocked it out as quick as possible with a maximum wait of about maybe 10 minutes in the parking lot between courses. The pathway to the first DMR stage here was pretty brutal. The hill in particular, it was about I think 600 to 700 feet of incline. This venue here in particular is a fantastic venue. You get some really great views of the Texas Hill Country. The DMR Stage 1 here was fairly simple course of fire. You had 4 targets with 2 hits each. The first group of targets on your left, second group's on your right. You did have to reposition. This first group of targets here was about 400 yards away on the other side of the opposing hill. There was a fairly strong gust of wind in between the hill. I think I used my 10-mile-per-hour wind holds here.
Impact. Right. No call. Impact.
Follow the ridge line to the left. There it
Follow
is.
to the left. Impact. Impact.
The second group of targets here were slightly closer, but the angle was extreme. You were firing down into the valley, and for whatever reason, I could not get on target with these. I was dancing all around it. The match director actually has a pretty creative solution to a logistical problem that a lot of run and gun events run into, and that is painted targets. Right? It's not feasible for ROs to shut down multiple stages and go down range to paint a target, so instead, this match director places a high visibility piece of white cardboard that is bigger than the target behind the target. Now there are some downsides to this. That means that a near miss oftentimes just gets ate by that white cardboard and it masks your impact, so you're not really sure where you need to adjust. It's an important note though that this event here actually scores based off of time plus, so you still get credit for the targets that you did neutralize even if you fail to finish the stage in the par time. I think that's fantastic. That is the way to do it, especially if you're going to push the range on a carbine or rifle at this distance.
On those, but
I look like
every
I
once in a
was-
while, I'll watch you hit the tree, watch a branch fall.
That's weird.
Course of fire was a single 8-inch gong placed at 420 yards. You only had to get 1 hit. I heard the fastest shooter on this stage actually did this offhand standing. I, however, took way too long getting into position. Retracing your steps to the third DMR stage. Now this stage was actually a bonus stage. It was not scored. It was a 1,000-yard shot, and you had to get one hit. If you got a hit, I think your name went into a bucket for a drawing for some sort of a prize. I did not get any hits. This is way outside of my intended use for this particular rifle setup. In particular, I am shooting a BDC. I did dial up, but honestly, dialing a BDC is really stupid.
Low. Low left.
I didn't see that one. Dude, I don't know how you could even call
Quick
it.
downhill run to the final rifle DMR stage. Course of fire here was 3 targets, 2 hits each, and it went 600, 700, 800.
Going closest.
Now for whatever reason, I did get sucked into this 600-yard target here. I ended up going through an entire mag. I only got 1 impact, and I decided to move on to the 700 and 800-yard target, which was a good idea because I did neutralize those targets, which gave me some good credit for it. I think perhaps I was hitting maybe a thermal pocket or some sort of weird updraft. The same hold at this target had me dancing all around the target. I was high, I was low, I was way off to the left, off to the right. There was no consistency.
Jeez. I'm gonna go a little further out, middle. All the way out.
One more on the post.
Yeah. I don't know what was going on, man. I was all over the place.
Yeah, inches.
Yeah, like the same hold had me dancing.
And retrace your steps all the way back to the parking lot. Here's the final results here. Now this was not my strongest performance at a shooting competition. However, this is hands down my favorite competition of 2024 and definitely one of my favorite competitions I've ever shot in the lifetime of shooting competitions. The creativity from the match director here to blend these 3 different separate courses all into one, the 12 shooting stages, the ability to get to run different loadouts and do a kit shakedown of a go bag if that was your thing that you ended up doing. I thought that was all fantastic. Very topical event and a very challenging event. Don't forget to drop a comment, like, subscribe, do all those things. Send this video to your friends. Peer pressure works, and as always, run, lift, shoot.